You hear the water gushing on the anchor or on the hull when you're sailing, and all is fine. Just cleaning the boat a bit after a nice sail trip. But what if actually the water is not against the hull but is gushing in? What then do you do? So if you hear the water gusting in and you only have one manual bilge pump, as I had half a year ago, that will make me feel very uncomfortable. So what I did is I installed a new one, a manual one and 2 electric ones. This vlog is all about it. Let's go! If shit hits the fan, I would like to have a bilge pump outside. So a couple of things on this. I bought the whale Archer. It's interesting to see here that it says depending on the hose size there is an output, and I just learned that if you want to use the bigger size for the hose, you need to cut that part off. This is actually where you use it, and I intend to have it right here next to the gas throttle with the wheel, so you can actually access all the necessary equipment when in need from the outside and pump. I have one on the inside. This one is nicely flushly mounted with a cap. The only thing is it will need a rather big hole, namely 89 millimeters. So I bought this terrifying beast, and you might know by now that I hate drilling holes in the boat, and this one I've been really dredging to do, but today is the day. So I'm going to prep it, I'm going to put this on, and I'm done. I'm going to drill. So if you've been following me for a longer period of time, you might have noticed that I not very often use a template. I don't know why. I think it's a false sentiment of safety, but in this case I had it, so I thought, well, let's just use it, right? So I marked it, I pre-drilled it, it just fits under the wheel. So yeah, what can possibly go wrong, huh? What a big hole! Oh my god! Next step in the process, besides having already a humongous hole in the boat, is drill 4 more holes in the boat. Oh, that is a super dumb mistake. I mounted it like this on the template instead of on like this. Oh, that is such a stupid mistake. Oh, dang it. So in the end I tried, but I figured it was best to sleep a night on it, think about it, plan a new plan, and then act upon that. So yesterday I installed the whale urchin bilge pump, but I made a mistake. So I used the template to install it straight up, but it needs to be turned. And as you can see here, it basically leaves no room for the hoses. Now you could fiddle your way around it, but actually to get it out you need to get this ring off. That could work, but there is a pin there with a little washery kind of thing on that end, and that is for sure not going to work. So I'm going to get it out, going to turn it 45 degrees. Now this is my mistake, but Will, if you're looking at this video, you could help people like me, and you can help them by making the 4 holes into a square instead of a rectangle with like a couple of mils off, because then you can just turn it without re-drilling. So if there would be one product improvement, I would think that will be one that without you knowing it, you would make a lot of people happy, and even they wouldn't know, but I would recognize it. Obviously yesterday I was pretty pissed off with this, but I also read a book, Chatter, the other day, and that really helped me to stop my mind going like circling 360 on this point, because basically you did what you did, you can't change it, you have to live with it. I slept about it and I thought, okay, let's just change the pump and accept the 4 holes. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. And that obviously means that you have to undo what you did and get the whole thing off again. Interestingly, the detail, by the way, that bilge pumps are from the 1500s already, and Thomas J. Oertling actually wrote a book about it, The Ship's Bilge Pumps, the history of their development from 15 to 1900. If you've read it, leave a comment. Love to see it. Now the only thing I need to figure out is how much hose do I need to go all the way down there and connect it here. But that I'm gonna do a different day. So different day, but as they say in Thailand, same but different, and in this case different problems. A fairly simple plan: make a drawing of the boat, make a drawing of the bilge pump, make a drawing of the bilge, just measure the length of the pipe I need. So I got myself a rope, and I figured let's just pull it all the way to the front, but there is actually a whole bunch of holes that is preventing me from doing that. So I got away that board and I opened up this new place that I didn't know existed, which is one of the things I like of like klussen on your own boat, is that you find stuff that you didn't know you had. So now the question is how to get it connected, but now at least I can see it. And before you know it, measuring up something becomes a project. And just in case you're wondering what I'm doing, there is a somewhat rough hole in here, and I'm squaring it up a bit so I can make a lid on top of it. And then I'm going to also open that a bit more, so there's a bit more space for me to get my hand in, and then yeah, I should be able to feed the line. 1, 2 new holes. Very happy with that, because I cleaned that one in the back and it actually had quite a bit of debris in there, and that's not an issue in itself because it ain't going anywhere, but if it actually gets in the bilge pump, then it will stop sucking up water. So the idea is fairly simple. Got the rope connected there, the line, and it's going down there, picks up all the way down there, follows the route here, gets out there, goes through there, that's good, goes through there, that's good, plenty of space, so it runs nicely through here, below the engine to the bilge. So now I learned one lesson: always take a meter extra. So I put it in the bilge, it goes up, so if I would cut it around here, then it would have the right size. Let's untie it and measure how long this is. So the good news when you order packages is they will just bring them to your home. So you have to wait for it, and then when it arrives, you can just get started. The installation moment. Going to put in the hoses. One bilge pump sucker is down there. I think I'm allowed to call this a sucker. And the other one is right in the corner. I'm going to pull the hose through the hole. And then all the way back there to where the bilge pump is. Woohoo! That is pretty snug fit. And now this goes back right to the bilge. Nicely connected with the tie rib. Going there. And then going under the engine. Through the hole, through the next hole, through the next hole. So the good news is that now for the electric bilge pump, it was just a matter of repeating the process. So there it is, the automatic bilge pump and the black hose over there. It's the manual bilge pump, which is below. So that depth is about 1 finger. I have quite long fingers, but still not that deep. It's a very small compartment, so mainly if the water comes in here, and this is really deep, this is a hand deep, then it needs to start pumping. So it will, the way it's constructed like this. So having the fixed bilge pumps in place, it was time to look at the grab bag bilge pump, and especially the amount of hose I had left, because I had bought it plentiful. So for a change, I have quite a bit of hose left. Normally I don't do this. This time I did, because let's say I want to add another pump, get this outside, like properly outside, for instance, through there. Then I have some hose left. I have quite a bit of hose, so anywhere in point here I could open a hatch, I could put it out, because I have one more bilge pump, and this one I'm going to keep separate. So I'm gonna unwrap it, because you don't want to unwrap this in stress, I can tell you. And then you can just connect it to the battery. I'm gonna make a longer cord to it that I will just use in like a cigarette lighter, and I'll just plug it in, and then it should run, bam. And then I can just put it somewhere where it's leaking. And I think that is very convenient. Although I know in stress you don't want to mess around with this stuff. If I put this at a place where it's easy to get to, I think this is actually a very, very, very smart setup, because this boat, that's the key, that's the bilge. So, you know, that's it. There's one more thing I'm considering, and that is cutting this, adding a T-splice to it, and then with a crane being able to suck up that water as well, but not sure about that one. So obviously getting the water out is important, but what is as important is that you can actually stop the water from coming in. And besides wooden plugs with all the through holes, I also have a sail, a small sail from a small boat, and I will use it if there is a hole in the hull to get it under the hull, on the hole. So this will then stop the water ingress, because the water will press the sail against the hull, and that should prevent water getting in. With all the bilge pumps, 2 automatic ones, 2 manual ones, and possibly the engine. I haven't decided on that. I would need quite a bit of bad luck actually to sink the boat. You never know. At least I'm prepared. So now both run with the tie rip through there, and then all the way back there. Bilge pump installed, hoses going to the bilge installed, and hoses going all the way to T connector, a Y connector. This is the automatic bilge pump, manual bilge pump, 25, 25, 40, 38 actually, and a Y of 2 38s, where this is the bilge pump from the inside, and this then is the bilge pump automatic and from the outside. Then it goes out to a 38mm pipe. This is the vent for the additional gasoline tank. This is the hose from the inside bilge pump. So quite a bit of a construction actually, but I think good to know that if I'm sailing on my own, it will not very often happen that I can pump on the inside and on the outside at the same time. If I'm on the automatic bilge pump and I'm on the bilge pump inside, then at least I have a 25 and a 38 going into a combined 38, which is a little bit too narrow, but in my feeling that's not an issue. So with everything in place, the only thing that was left was wiring it all up. 5-minute job, right? Pulling a cable from here under there. So actually not that one, because that was already there and I wondered why, but it was because that was quite tight. So I ran it underneath and I'm gonna get it out here and then probably run it upwards to the switch panel over there. I always really like it how in a boat everything simple turns into something complex, but I had to open almost the whole bloody boat to get the cable there, but I'm almost there. Now, having all the wires in place, it was just a matter of adding a switch. So it was time to do some prototyping with a simple piece of board and get it over with really quickly. So I thought. It seemed so easy. Just got a few holes in a piece of wood and make a box. But then I figured it needs to be waterproof if I want to use these switches for my bilge pump. So I came up with an ingenious new plan. I'm going to glue this lid to the wall, and it has these handy flippery thingies and the sealant inside, so I can put this box on it and fix it. And in or on or within this box is going to be 2 of these little babies, which is the 12-volt universal car electric cigarette thingy lighter plug. On top, 2 USB chargers with 2 outlets actually. So 4 of those in total. So this will be near the companionway, so we can charge our iPhones and stuff, which I think will be quite handy. There's going to be 3 switches, 1 to activate and deactivate all the power outlets, 1 for the bilge pump to be on and always on, so it can also pump water when I'm not in a boat. 1 more of these switches, by the way. I have a whole bunch of them, so I haven't decided on the color yet. It could be blue. And last but not least, a 20 amp breaker, circuit breaker. So I'm gonna cut this with a Stanley, but first I'm gonna draw it. Draw everything, then make a template, then redraw it here with a fine liner, and then cut it. What we learned from this little template is that actually this distance is okay, but this distance is not really okay. It's a little bit too close, so I need to close that gap. Continuing our wee little adventure. Look at that. 12 volt, USB, another USB, on off switch for the USB, on switch for the bilge pump, override for the bilge pump, and fuse. Next job on the list. Connects the whole thing together. The box is fully prepared. We have all the switches on and all the electronics on, all the switches on off. So I would say let's see. If you start switching, stuff happens. The moment suprême. All right, so far so good. Let's see if I have power on this end. That's good. Now let's see if I have power on this one. No, no power. And then if I switch it, I should have power. Yes, it works. Quite interesting. The switches, both switches work, but the light does not work. So I'm gonna change it. There we go again. God dang it, what is it with all these lights in there? This one works, that one works, and this one doesn't. Annoying! Third time lucky. Bilge pump manual override, which means I need to disconnect that one. And then, yeah, power! Nice! It's in! Haha! And override. Normally I would screw, and not glue, but screw this in place. But this time I decided differently. I'm using the Tesa power strips. Easy on and easy off. Okay. And the main reason is I kind of decided where I want to have it, but I'm also not 100% sure. Let's put the box back. Now, so with everything wired up, the only thing left to do was test the electric bilge pump and see if it actually runs as designed. And now the grande moment. It works! And that is then, I need to waterproof that. But then this is perfect. So I can just play around with that. I have a super long hose that I can basically put there if it's stormy-ish, or through this hatch or the front hatch, depending on where it needs to go. But this is actually lower, so less height means more water out. So that concludes it. The setup. There it is, the bilge pump grab bag, with the bilge pump including a 12-volt plug, tie ribs that I can easily catch or connect to get it out, and an easy to manage bag, so you can just pull it out of its box. Installed in the abyss, well, also known as the navigation chair. That's it, another episode of Sailing Wind Rose. If you've liked it, leave a like. If you want to leave a comment, leave a comment. I would like that a lot. And if you really like it, hit subscribe. And I hope to see you next time, where we're going to work on the lifelines. You might have spotted them already. If not, stay tuned and I'll show you next time how we created that. For now, we're safe and we can at least prevent the boat from sinking a whole lot faster than we could. See you later, boys and girls. Cheerio. De moment suprême. Let's see if it fits in here. Nice. Snug fit, I would say.